Hello and welcome to my favorite video game series of all time. I introduce you to Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy, which is a 2001 platform video game developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 2 on December 4th, 2001, as the first game of the Jak and Daxter series. The story follows two individuals, otherwise known as Jak and Daxter. After Daxter fell into a pit of dark eco and turned into a creature called an Oddsoul, Jak wants to help find a way to revert him back to his normal form. The game opens up with a level called Geyser Rock, which acts as a tutorial to show you what you need to do. You control Jak in this third-person platformer in which the objective is to gather power cells. Power cells can be obtained by collecting all 7 scout flies in one level, doing missions, and collecting precursor orbs that can be traded with villagers or oracles for power cells. A large part of the gameplay revolves around Eco, a type of colored, mysterious energy that comes in 6 different forms. The player is able to utilize eco powers by either collecting small amounts of glowing eco particles or fully charging them through eco vents. There are 6 types of ecos to be found around the game, which some of them I will get to as the game progresses. Green eco is the most commonly found eco, and it restores health. Blue eco increases Jak's speed, breaks nearby boxes, except the strong ones, attracts precursor orbs, scout flies, and small clusters of green and blue eco towards him, and activates certain machinery.
Good training, boys, but that's nothing compared to the challenges that lie ahead.
Then no problem. We got the moves, eh, Jak?
We'd love to stay and chat, Big Green, but we're, itching to get on with our adventures.
Fine. Adventure away, then. And while you're out adventuring, why don't you make yourself useful? My darn green eco-collectors are clogged up again. Head out to the far side of the beach and clear them out, why don't you? Follow the lamps. They'll take you right there. Now, all of you, get out of here!
After you finish the tutorial, same as the Sage will finally allow you to start adventuring, in which you will be placed in the first hub world, Sandover Village, in which you will have to collect 20 power cells. Eventually, you would split off right into the next area, which is Forbidden Jungle. May I add, just for the record, that I actually did complete the game at 100% on this playthrough. Each section has its own individual missions and tasks that you need to do, such as in Forbidden Jungle, you have to connect the eco beam for the mayor so that the power can be restored, and probably the most important one is to catch the fish for the fisherman. This is because the fish will like to go in his boat, which will take you to Misty Island. This will also be where you encounter your first boss battle after you enter into the temple to open eco vents. The first boss is just a plant that has very basic attacks, perfect for a first boss, not gonna lie. After all that has been completed, the next area that is upcoming is Sentinel Beach. This is where I feel like I should talk about the soundtrack for this game. It's perfect. I'm going to go ahead and let you listen to this level's soundtrack for a bit. The whole feel to the beach is just relaxing. This is the only game that truly feels like an open world game, as there are absolutely 0 loading screens after you start the game, so it really is just a smooth open world adventure. There is an important task that you have to do on the beach, which is to push an egg off the cliff. This will allow you to unlock Flood, which will be very useful in later levels. You can also climb the tower using the launch pads and take over the cannon so that you can destroy the strong boxes containing precursor orbs. As you can now use the boat, you can now travel to Misty Island. Upon landing in Misty, you'll be greeted with a more creepy atmosphere and the sculptor's muse, which has requested you bring back. A little detail that I always loved is that when you go back to the part of the island where Daxter had originally fallen in, he will start to freak out and say how he isn't sure that they should be there. This is also where you will discover Red Eco for the very first time, which will increase your strength so that you can literally one-shot any enemy.
Great! You have the 20 cells needed to power my heat shield. Now be careful. The shield will only protect your zoomer till it reaches 500 degrees, so try to keep her cool. Flying over open lava will definitely heat you up fast. Hit 500 degrees and it's over.
Over? Like burning molten metal over?
The fire canyon gets pretty hot, so keep a lookout for jumps to keep you off the hot ground. I've also released several blue cooling balloons you can use to drop the shield's temperature quickly. Oh, and when you get across, Don't forget to activate the teleport gate in the Blue Sage's lab. Then we'll be able to teleport over and meet you. Good luck!
After collecting enough cells, Kira can now successfully upgrade the Zuma so that it can withstand the heat of the Fire Canyon, and Jak and Daxter can now travel to Rock Village. Navigate through the course, avoiding obstacles and using lurkers to catch some air in order to prevent the Zuma from overheating. It is honestly really refreshing when you get to the end of the level. No pun intended. When you reach Rock Village, you will go into the hut and activate the teleporter gate, in which you will receive this cutscene.
Whoa! I don't think I'll ever get used to that teleporter tingling sensation. Hey! It looks like the Blue Sage threw a party.
Oh my! Rock Village is on fire!
One heck of a party.
No, I mean Rock Village is being bombarded with flaming boulders! Oh, and it looks like the Blue Sage is working on a levitation machine to move them. Assuming it's operational, we're gonna need power cells to fuel it. I guess you two are going to have to find some more.
We'd better take a look at his notes. Jak, go check on the villagers, then come back and give us an update. And take the furball with you.
Jak and Daxter have now been tasked to collect even more power cells, with the total now being 45. Now you have reached a new hub which contains more levels in order to be able to collect even more power cells. After speaking around with some of the villagers, you'll be sent to Precursor Basin. Now Precursor Basin is a level where you can only use the Zuma in order to complete challenges. These include chasing down the lurkers, flying through rings, healing dark eco plants, and beating the record time. It was one of the most difficult things to do. If you head to the Precursor structure next to the coast and near the Blue Sage's hut, you'll find the lost Precursor City. Just swim over the coral reef or use the wooden bridge next to the house in the center of Rock Village to take you to it. The lost Precursor City is an underwater city that looks absolutely amazing, especially how you can look out and just see the ocean. Nearing the end of the level, you will find an underwater chamber, and by using Blue Eco, you power it up and bring it back to the surface. You can get to Boggy Swamp by taking the wooden bridges that are to the left of Gambler and Warrior when you first walk into the room that they're in. You can only use these bridges after you've given the Warrior 90 Precursor Orbs, as this means that he will rebuild the bridge. The main objective for this level is to break the tethers to the Zeppelin, as Samos has requested. This is also where you'll be able to ride the Flup Flup for the very first time. This is also where you discover Yellow Eco, which are like fireballs that you can throw out of your hands. Hopefully you now have enough power cells in order to be able to power up the machine to lift up the boulder and get to fighting Claw.
Great! You have the cells for the machine. They ought to provide enough power to lift that boulder. There we go. Now be careful facing that monster lurker at the top.
Wait! I'll stay here and protect Kira. Jak, I think you're ready to handle that monster without me.
Oh, really heroic of you.
Claw is a boss that is not very hard once you learn it. Jump back and forth between the 3 platforms on the lava to avoid the rocks that he shoots out. After he stops, run and grab the Blue Eco and then go and jump on the platforms that have risen and run to the end of it while avoiding the rocks that he throws at you. Grab the Yellow Eco and keep shooting fireballs at him until he eventually drops it on his head. Now run back to the 3 platforms at the beginning of the stage. The only challenge is that with each phase he will shoot rocks faster and there are less platforms to jump on. After this, you'll have access to Mountain Pass. All you have to do is reach the end of the Mountain Pass before the flying lurkers to get this power cell. You will have to travel all the way to the end of the pass while avoiding dynamite and obviously beating the lurkers there so that they cannot detonate the entire mountain. Once you reach the end of the pass, you'll have to open the teleporter gate once again so that Samos and Kira can travel through.
Ow! Look, I always wonder if I'm losing body parts in those things. Holy yakkow! The Red Sage's lab looks worse than the Blues.
Well, it definitely looks as though there's been a struggle here.
I'd hardly call it struggle. Would you, dear sister?
Certainly not. The Red Sage gave up with so little effort. No fun at all.
Gall? Is that you? You've finally gone off the deep end, eh? And Maya, I told you the Dark Eco would affect you both. Nobody ever listens to old Samos. What have you two done with the Blue and Red Sages?
Don't worry about your colorful friends, you old fool. They're perfectly safe in our Citadel. Our special guests.
They have graciously agreed to help us on a little project.
You were wrong, Samos. Dark Eco can be controlled. We've learned its secrets, and now we can reshape the world to our liking.
You can't control Dark Eco by itself. Even the precursors.
Until now, we've had to scrape by with what little Dark Eco we could find near the surface. But soon, we will have access to the vast stores of Dark Eco hidden deep underground.
Not the silos.
Yes, the silos. They will be opened, and all the Dark Eco of the world will be ours.
But that's impossible. Only a precursor robot.
Oh, don't look so upset, Samos. We've got big plans for you.
Wait a minute! That was Gall? The same Gall who's supposed to change me back? Gall is the guy trying to kill us? I'm doomed.
We may all be doomed. If they open the silos, the Dark Eco will twist and destroy everything it touches. We simply must get to their citadel to stop them.
The fastest way there is through the lava tube at the bottom of this crater. A few more power cells and your Zoomer's heat shield should get you across the lava safely.
All right, my boy. You know what to do. Take the flea bag and go round up more power cells.
Snowy Mountain is the most aesthetically pleasing level to look at, not to mention the relaxing music that is also added. It took me an eternity to find out how the hell you find the switch to turn on the yellow eco vents. A little side note, when you have opened the eco vents, make sure to go back to Mountain Pass in order to get that power cell. You will thank me later, trust me. Tasks in Snowy Mountain include stopping the 3 glacier troops, deactivating the precursor blockers, and navigating the fortress. Still, the best level. Now for the worst level. The Spider Cave is located at the cave towards the rear section of the third of the 3 circled minecart tracks in Volcanic Crater. This level will have you aiming through your goggles and shooting lurkers, which isn't the worst part. A few of the lurkers will drop orbs, so if you forget about them, you will have yourself wandering around the map, missing an orb. Robot Room is also a pain to navigate back in the day. Not to forget that you have to grab yellow eco and run back to Volcanic Crater to get the hidden power cell. Yikes.
All right. With these additional power cells, I should be able to supply the heat shield with enough power to stand up to this lava. But the shield still has a limit. It will now withstand temperatures up to 800 degrees, but no more. So keep an eye on your gauge. I don't want to think about what those temperatures would do to your Zoomer if the shield gives out.
Yeah, the heat. What? The Zoomer? Hey, what about us? Don't you think we could look for a safer route to Gall's Citadel?
Look, I've released more cooling balloons into the tube, so you can use them to keep the temperature down. And don't forget to activate the teleport gate in the Yellow Sage's lab. We're counting on you.
You finally have enough power cells to upgrade the Zoomer's shield once more, and you can travel through Lava Tube. Now when you reach the end, you'll be at Gol and Maya's Citadel. I'm going to let the cutscene speak for the rest.
Hey! Where's old Short, Green, and Wrinkly?
This is terrible. Father is missing. I think Gol and Maya may have kidnapped him as well.
Relax, sweetheart. I got everything under control.
Under control? Lurker armies continue to grow across the land. The sages have been kidnapped. Gol and Maya have gathered enough eco to complete their terrible plan. And to stop them, you're going to have to fight your way through their citadel.
Yeah. That about, sums it up.
You've got to rescue my father before it's too late. And Jak, be careful.
Yeah, we will be.
It's about time you two decided to show up.
Nice to see you, too. Do they have you mopping the floors now?
There's no time for jokes, Daxter. Gol and Maya kidnapped us to sap our energies to power their abominable machine. It appears they have combined the functional remains of a precursor robot with scavenged artifacts from across the land. Then they added a few diabolical additions of their own, creating the one thing capable of opening the dark eco silos. If you can free the four of us, we can use our combined powers to break the force shield surrounding the robot before they use it to destroy the world.
Good work, fellows! Old Samos was right about you. Great piles of precursor metal! That insidious mechanical creation must not be allowed to wreak its terrible havoc! I will try to actuate the shield door by eliciting a conduit of energy between myself and the vast portal below!
Yeah. You do that. We'll, just go find more help. Weirdo! Who would have thought I'd live to see the day when I needed to be rescued by a boy and his muskrat? I'm gonna give Gol and Maya a little payback for this embarrassment. Then we'll see about cooking up some muskrat stew.
You finally come to rescue me. Do you know how long I've been in here? What took you so long to know? What are your names?
I'm Daxter. He's Jak. He's with me.
Good job, Daxter. You're a real hero. You've got to stop Gol from launching the robot. I'll use my eco power to help open the shield door.
Good work, boys. You're real heroes now. I'll combine my green eco power with the other three sages, and together we'll open the shield door surrounding the precursor robot.
Yeah, that sounds like a good start. And then after you guys open that shield, what are you gonna do about the robot?
Nothing, Daxter. We have to keep the shield open. It's up to you two to figure out how to destroy the robot.
Oh, great. I get to help the guy that turned me into a furball destroy the only person who can turn me back!
First, save the world. Then we'll try to convince Gol to help Daxter.
You're too late, Samos. Once I possess limitless dark eco, I will have the key to creation itself.
This is madness! Releasing that much dark eco will destroy everything we know. Just look what it's done to you.
It has given us a beauty beyond anything you could understand.
Beauty? Have you two looked in the mirror lately?
Just wait until we open the silos, little one. You think short and fuzzy is bad.
And to think, you two traveled all this way for my help. Fools! Enjoy your creation of the world!
Jak! Take the elevator up and stop that robot!
Now on to the final boss of this game. The first thing you need to do while facing the Precursor robot is to pick up the yellow eco, use the goggles to aim up, and shoot at the robot 5 times in order to do damage to him. After the robot resets itself, it will shoot a time bomb at the center of the platform, and you'll need to run to the blue eco vent and then quickly run to the jump pad on the other side in order to be able to avoid the bomb. For the boss' second stage of attack, these lurkers will jump out of the dark eco and try to attack. Just run to the yellow eco and shoot fireballs at the lurkers, as you can't punch them normally. After you've defeated the wave of enemies, the robot once again shoot a bomb in which you'll have to go to the jump pad once again. The third attack will have the robot shoot out 5 groups of fireballs that will explode one by one, producing a circular ring that extends out. You'll have to jump over them and use yellow eco to destroy his arm. Once again, a bomb will be fired and you'll have to jump over it using the jump pad. For the final attack, the boss will power up his arm and shoot a large fireball. Dodge the fireball and use the yellow eco to destroy the turret.
It does exist!
They must not be allowed to get it!
White ego! That could be the stuff that chained me back! Or it might stop that robot. Stay fuzzy, save the world. Choices. Okay, fine. We'll save the world. But do it quickly before I change my mind!
All you have to do now is collect the white eco and destroy the robot once and for all.
Well, it looks like I may have been too hard on you boys. You do have what it takes to be heroes.
But Daxter, now we can't change you back.
Don't worry about me, baby. You know what they say. Big things come in small packages.
Jak, you have an incredible talent for channeling eco. Samos, you may have been right about this one after all.
And Kira, without your help and ingenuity, none of this would have been possible. Perhaps we've found another sage, now that Gaul and Maya are lost.
Yes, Gaul and Maya. The Dark Eco probably destroyed them. Probably.
Ah, who cares? Bring 'em on! We can take 'em again! Right, Jak? I said, right, Jak? Wow! Put it on ice, big guy!
If you have collected 100 power cells, you'll receive this secret ending.
Holy yakko! What could that be?
Wow! It's an ancient precursor door. It looks like it will only open if we fill all 100 holes with power cells.
We're heroes, remember? We have 100 power cells. Wow! What is it?
It's so beautiful.
By the precursors.
I am in no way being asked to do this. I just want to mention this via my own accord. Open Goal is a launcher that allows you to play Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, and Jak II with many mods. This is also what made recording this possible. The story begins immediately after the events of the first game. Jak, Daxter, Samos, and Kira discover an ancient precursor device known as the Rift Rider. Driven by curiosity, they activate it, unknowingly opening a portal through time. In an instant, they're pulled into a vortex and thrown into a completely unfamiliar future. When they arrive, they find themselves in Haven City, a massive, industrialized metropolis that feels nothing like the world they came from. Before they can understand what's happening, they're captured by the city's authorities. Jak is separated from his friends and imprisoned. What follows is one of the most draining periods of his life. 2 full years of experimentation at the hands of Baron Praxis, the ruler of Haven City. Praxis is desperate to maintain control over his crumbling city, and he turns to Dark Eco as a potential solution. Jak becomes his test subject, injected repeatedly with this unstable and corrupted energy. The process changes him, both physically and mentally, pushing him to the edge and reshaping who he is. When Jak finally escapes, it makes a turning point not just for the story, but for his character. For the first time, Jak speaks, and his words are filled with anger and purpose. "I'm gonna kill Praxis." It's a simple line, but it defines everything that follows. The silent, cheerful hero from before is gone, replaced by someone hardened, driven, and deeply affected by what he's endured. His escape is made possible by Daxter, who never gave up on finding him. The first person that Jak encounters after escaping the prison is a man named Kor, who asks Jak for protection, and in trade he will let them in on the underground movement if they protect him and the boy from the Crimson Guards. After this, Jak will head on over to the underground secret spot and speak to a man named Torn, who tells Jak and Daxter that they have to prove themselves if they are really looking to join the fight for the city. Jak and Daxter are sent on 3 different quests, including retrieve banner from Dead Town, find pumping station valve, and blow the ammo dump in the fortress. After these 3 missions are completed, Torn will send Jak and Daxter to deliver a shipment of rare eco ore to a man named Crew, who is a very important character in the story. After avoiding all of the Baron's patrols and reaching Crew, he will hand you the gun that is promised on the cover of the game, which is called the Scattergun. The Scattergun has a wide field of fire, making an ideal weapon for large groups of enemies. It operates in a similar fashion to a shotgun, a single shot of high firepower which can deal heavy damage to multiple opponents. Jak is instructed to go to the gun course and try out his new weapon. As Jak now works for Crew, he will be sent on various errands for him, and after a few errands, Jak becomes frustrated and asks Crew about the metalheads and why the Baron is giving them Dark Eco. Crew tells Jak that the Baron has been feeding Dark Eco to the metalheads, basically using it as a way to control and manipulate them. The idea was that by supplying them with Dark Eco, Praxis could keep them in check or redirect their attacks away from the city. But Crew makes it clear this plan is completely backfiring. Instead of controlling the metalheads, the Dark Eco is actually making them stronger, more aggressive, and more organized. It's fueling the very threat Praxis claims to be protecting the city from. In other words, the Baron isn't just failing to stop the invasion, he's actively making it worse. In return for clearing the sewers from the sentry guns, Crew offers Jak a new upgrade to a scattergun, which is the Blaster Gun mod. The Blaster is a significant update from the scattergun, offering a higher rate of fire, improved accuracy, and superior range. It is most effective in engagements against distant, airborne, or isolated targets, such as the Wasp, Metal Jacket, or Centurion. After this, various missions will unlock for Jak, but all must be completed in order to be able to proceed. Of course, I won't be talking about all the missions, or this video would be too long. I will, however, mention rescuing Vin and how he is important, as he is an underground informant. It is also important to mention that when Crew sends Jak to partake in the stadium races, the girl behind the curtain is something to keep an eye out for later on. Torn will send Jak to rescue a friend of his who was with him when he was in the Crimson Guard. Upon arriving, Jak will meet a character called Ashlyn for the very first time. Jak helps Ashlyn fight the metalheads and tells Jak that if he wants to find the answers to Ma, that he should speak to Onan at the bazaar. Onan explains that the two have met before and that Jak seeks answers regarding Ma, the city's founder. Jak is sent to collect 3 artifacts at a mountain temple, which he goes out and does. Jak now decides that he wants to take the battle to the Baron himself and asks Min for a favor and see if they can activate one of the elevators to ride to the top of the palace. After Jak activates the 5 switches that are needed, he will take the elevator to the top where he'll meet the Baron, who is piloting a flying robot. The first boss fight of the game commences, and it is a 3-phase fight. This puts Jak and Daxter at the top of the wanted list, and they are now marked as the city's most dangerous criminals. Jak is sent to Dead Town to locate a specific site. After this task has been completed, Jak will be able to meet the Shadow for the first time. Jak was given yet another weapon mod called the Vulcan Fury, but this time it was Torn that gave it to Jak. The Vulcan Fury is a cylindrical morph weapon mod, with a large rotating barrel quickly dispensing blue ammo shells as the gun fires its shot in rapid succession. It appears to be the heaviest weapon, as Jak's spin kicks are noticeably slower, and it carries it low set with the laser sight pointed slightly upwards. Upon discovering the location they were meant to find, they make a discovery that shocks the duo. It is Samus's hut. It is completely worn down and falling apart. The duo come to the conclusion that the horrible world that the rift took them to is to the future, and this is what the world had come to. Turning back to the hideout, Jak will meet the Shadow for the very first time, and to their surprise it is Samos, or rather a very young version of Samos who does not remember the duo and explains that he would never forget a face and that he has not been in any rifts lately. This heavily confuses the duo. Various other missions will appear after this, and I'll talk about the most important ones. Samos will ask you to escort the kid that was seen earlier. The Underground are heavily protecting the kid as they feel that he is the true heir to the throne. After you drop the kid off with Core, he'll tell Jak about the dig and how the Baron has set up a drill there in order to find Mars' tomb. Jak will head over to the dig for the very first time and destroy the drill. Crew will task Jak with a specific mission where he will have to save lurkers from the Crimson Guard transport vehicles and bring them back to Bruder. Please note that Bruder is a very important character in the story, as he later contacts Jak and alerts him of one of the seals of Mar that is in the slums part of town. After collection of it, Bruder tells Jak that behind them the Red Troopers are incoming, and Jak will have to fight his way out through multiple dropships. This mission is one of the hardest in the game. I would also like to take your attention back to the garage where Jak is headed again. It turns out that the person behind the curtain is not other than Kira herself. After a greeting, she warns Jak that the Class 3 race is about to begin and that the winner of all 3 races gets to meet the Baron personally at the palace. After this, Jak heads over to the race where he will partake, and he has to win to proceed. After the seal pieces have been collected, you may talk to Onin, who will put the pieces together, and Pekka will translate that alongside the 3 artifacts found before, that the light tower in Haven Temple will now direct him to the real location of Mars' tomb. Mars' tomb is right under the statue that the Baron built of himself, right in the middle of the city. When the crew gets there, they're ready to send the kid, who is the true heir to the throne, to face the dangerous challenges from the tomb. Upon seeing the kid, the mysterious voice says that he is too young to participate in the challenges, and the doors proceed to start closing. Quickly thinking, Jak slid under the door. Inside the tomb, there are various challenges, mostly including parkour, to open both doors to the tomb. When the Precursor stone was going to be released for Jak, the Baron suddenly jumps through the room with his mechanical machine and tries to take the stone by force. This triggers the second boss fight of the game. Despite Jak's best efforts to stop the Baron, he is still able to keep the Precursor stone in his possession. Returning back to Torn, he reveals that the reason the Baron knew they were so close to a move of the stone was because he had to tell them, or the Baron would hurt his own daughter, Ashlyn. All of the crew have been captured and are being held at the fortress, and to rescue them is a suicide mission as it is so heavily guarded. After rescuing their friends, Samos that we know from the previous game will appear from one of the cells and begins to scold Jak over not having rescued him earlier. This causes major confusion as now there are 2 different versions of Samos. Of course, I won't skip out the infamous escort mission where you have to escort Mog, Jinx, and Grim to the Statue of Mar to recover an artifact. The mission is infamous for the lack of health kits and the huge wave of metalheads at the end. It is very worth it in the end, as Jak will be gifted the 4th and last weapon in the game, the Peacemaker. The Peacemaker is the most powerful of the 4 Tier 1 mods and can thus be considered a last resort type weapon. It is, however, much more useful at the start of the fight, as the charge will arc and spread out when it hits an enemy or object. This arc deals the same damage as if it would have hit an enemy directly, meaning that the Peacemaker will be the most effective when used at the start of a fight when there are more enemies for the arc to spread. Pretty much any medium-sized enemy will be killed in a single hit from the Peacemaker. Finally, it is time for the Class 2 race, but this time around it will be Daxter partaking in the race, as Jak and Kira had an argument and he walked out. The race is the exact same map, but has a different layout. After winning, Crew will explain to Jak that he should throw the race and let Errol win as he bet against them. Errol is angry about this and demands a race around the city with accelerator rings where Jak is not allowed to miss a single one. A little further down the line, Samos will ask you to go back to the site and collect the life seed that is stashed in his old hut, as he needs this to source his powers. Onin will then have you take the life seed to Haven Forest, where Samos will use the seed to ask the plants about the Baron and what his intentions are with the Precursor Stone. Samos tells Jak that the Baron is planning on cracking the stone open as he fears it will help in the war with the metalheads, but it is revealed that if the stone is opened, the power will destroy everything and everyone. Samos implores that Jak stops the Baron with everything he has got. Finally, it is time for the Class 1 race. The winner of this race will be able to visit the palace, and after Jak wins it, it is the best way for him to confront the Baron face to face. Upon reaching the palace, Aisling will appear from behind and questions Jak about what side he really is on, and questions if Jak is helping the metalheads. Jak, now frustrated, responds and tells her that if the stone is opened, that it will kill everyone. She calls Vin to confirm what Jak is saying, and he indeed confirms that the information is true. As Aisling is now on board to stop the Baron from cracking open the Precursor Stone, she will send Jak to the weapons lab to stop Crew and take back the Heart of Ma, which is needed to repair the replication of the rift so the heroes can return home. Upon meeting Crew at the weapons lab, the third boss fight of the game will commence. Crew will use multiple clones of himself, and only after the clones have been defeated will he join the fight where Jak can damage him. According to Tess, Crew quickly hid something in the machine in the entrance. Daxter has to beat the Metalhead Mash machine in order to retrieve the artifact that is hidden within the machine, which is the time map. Unexpectedly, two Metalheads appear from behind Daxter, and then you can see that the city has been completely overrun by Metalheads. The shield wall is down, and it was Core that took it completely offline, and the Metalheads are in the city and attacking. Jak receives a tip to go over to the construction site as Core is there. When he arrives, Core shows his true colors and shows us that he is in fact the Metalhead leader. The Baron tries to march and attack the Metalhead leader, but he fires back, which leads to the Baron's demise. It is finally time. As the Metalheads are occupied with attacking the city, this is the chance that they have to attack the Metalhead nest. Upon arriving, a much darker ambience is provided, but in the end, this is the Metalhead nest. As such, a heavy concentration of rare types of Metalheads may be found here, such as the Grunt Elephant and Flying Spider, among others. Finally, Jak will face the Metalhead leader, where he will explain that the boy is so important as he is the younger version of Jak, and that he is the heir to the throne. As Jak is now tainted with Dark Eco, the stone will never open to him, and that only the boy can unlock it as he is still pure. The last boss fight starts against the Metalhead leader, and as an added bonus, I would let you enjoy the final cutscene.
Oh man, a precursor.
It is finished. Our ancient enemy is no more. Take hope, brave one. The terrible darkness inside you is now balanced by a glorious light. We will meet again.
We haven't much time. I've set the coordinates back to our village. Let's go home, everyone.
Well, we are home.
Kira, I'm afraid your Rift Rider must be used to send young Jak here to a place where he will grow up, safe from harm. He must become old enough to complete the destiny he has fulfilled today. Wait a minute. It's you. I mean, it's me. I have to take him back and watch over him, don't I? Ah, grub roots. Talk about being in the wrong time at the right place.
Hey kid, you take care. Oh, and trust me on this. Stay away from any Wumpy nest on your 9th birthday, okay?
I sure hope I built this replica right. I don't know if it...
It's perfect, Kira. This is the very machine we found, or will find later.
What? I just built this. After seeing the first one, I mean. It's based on what I remember from before.
Honey, the more you think about it, the more it hurts the head.
I'll take good care of the child. And don't worry. I'll be back in time for the celebration. Farewell.
Thanks, Samos. Without you...
It's funny. The boy won't remember any of this.
No. I do remember the light.
Your transport is ready, milady.
Thank you, Captain Bruder. Come on. We'll be late for the party at Daxter's new place.
I've got so much work to do. Besides, it's not my thing.
Ten hut! As the new governor of this city, I ordered the commander of the New Crimson Guard to escort me to an official function. Is that understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
You can start rebuilding the city tomorrow. Tonight, we get to celebrate with our new friends. Besides, tough guy, I'm dying to see you dance.
Not likely.
Welcome to the Naughty-Otzel, the hippest, happiest joint in town. Check out the new decor.
Ooh, what a big trophy.
As if size matters. I bagged that bad boy myself, baby.
Onan says she doesn't know who has a bigger head, him or you.
We must not forget Vin and all the others who sacrificed their lives to defeat this evil and protect the child.
I still can't believe that little boy was me. Better times, huh?
You miss him, huh? You know, the kid grows up to be a handsome hero.
Hey, that's enough for you, lady. I'm cutting you off.
Trust me, she gets real mean when she's like this.
What'd she say?
Something about rubber tubing and certain parts of your mother. You don't want to know.
Ah! A metalhead!
Sig!
Sig! I knew that.
You're okay.
You cherries didn't think some nasty-breathed, giant-sized lizard was gonna keep me from the biggest party in town, did you?
I knew you were too tough for him, big guy.
You saved the city and more, my boy. Metalcore and his menace are history, and somewhere out there, an ancient race has begun again.
I'm just glad to be back home.
Yeah, well, rest up. We've got a lot to do, and so much time to do it in.
Don't say time. The Rift Ring was destroyed, remember?
You know, my mama used to read bedtime stories about Ma when she tucked me in. Give me a nice glass of warm yak cow milk, a little poopsie bear.
Bedtime stories? Warm milk? Poopsie bear? Buddy, you just blew your image.
I've got a feeling we'll meet Mar someday. He may be closer than you think.
You're the designated driver.
Oh, no. I am done with adventures. Besides, you'll tell us before something happens next time, right, Samos? Right, Samos?
You never know what the future may hold.
Wait. You know something, don't you, Feather Breath?
Who, me? No, we're just guessing, right, Samos? Hey, tomorrow, only time will tell.
No, you're gonna tell right now!
Why, you little Why, you?
Dirty fighting! Dirty
That's
fighting!
not my beak!
Oh,
That's not my beak!
Watch your
Don't
pecker!
touch it!
Jak, my boy, a future awaits.
The opening cutscene of Jak 3 immediately sets a harsh, emotional tone by showing Jak being exiled from Haven City, a place he previously helped save, now turning on him out of fear of his dark eco powers and the destruction associated with him. The ruling council, driven by paranoia and political pressure, casts him out onto the Wasteland with little more than a weapon and a vehicle, essentially condemning him to die in the desert, while Daxter refuses to leave his side, adding his usual sarcastic humor, but also reinforcing their loyalty and friendship in the face of betrayal. As they travel through the desert, Jak starts to reminisce about the city and the war that has started for the city as remaining Metalheads and Crimson Guards attack and are trying to capture several parts of the city. Eventually, Jak collapses with the beacon that Ashlyn had provided. Eventually, Dallas finds the trio and takes them with him to Spargus City. Deimos tells Jak that if people want to stay in Spargus City, that they have to prove themselves and beat 3 arena challenges in order to gain citizenship in Spargus. The game immediately commences with Jak at the training mission where Pekka is guiding him through the steps. After the tutorial is finished, Jak will face his first arena challenge, where he'll have to take out various marauders. When all of the marauders have been taken out, Jak can now venture into the city, where he first meets a character called Cleaver, and he will send Jak and Daxter to catch Kangurats with a Leaper Lizard. After the 6 Kangurats have been exterminated, Jak will meet a character named Seam, standing next to a dark eco satellite that a puzzle needs to be completed in order to unlock it. This provides Jak with a dark eco crystal. These crystals will be collected by Jak over several missions. The very first time in the Jak and Daxter Trilogy, Jak will be able to control a car around the desert. Although Cleaver only allows Jak to take the simple car with no weapons attached to it, a tutorial follows which allows the player to get a feel for the car in an empty desert. Jak will have to participate in a race against Cleaver and several other desert marauders. The race consists of 3 laps that have to be completed in a small area around the desert. Cleaver will let Jak keep the car for quote-unquote as long as he lives, and from here on out, every time Jak steps out into the desert, marauders will shoot at him. Deimos will then order Jak to collect various artifacts that uncover when sandstorms appear. Jak has a limited amount of time to collect each one and has to quickly drive back. Finally, Jak has access to a car that has machine guns on it and is once again sent out into the desert, but this time he has to clear the desert of 4 huge metalhead beasts. Jak has to be careful, as if he stays in front of these beasts, they will kick the car and it absolutely goes flying. One important detail from this mission is that as the last beast is taken out, a beacon alongside another dark crystal falls on the floor. The beacon emits a voice and a face that is very similar to a character from the last game. It is now time for Jak to face the second arena challenge so that he can receive the second war amulet. Similar to last time, Jak is fighting the marauders who have the same abilities and will try to hurt Jak with their swords. The arena now is also 4 times larger than before, with each platform being submerged in lava every so often. Cleaver and Deimos will send Jak into the desert to corral 3 wild leapers. The importance of completing this task is that you'll get a buggy called the Dune Hopper. The Dune Hopper will allow Jak to clear these gaps and make it to the temple for the very first time. As the access from the temple is blocked by a giant eye, I guess we can call it, Jak will have to climb up the temple to reach the top where there is a glider that he will use to reach the volcano. At the volcano there is a satellite, and on that satellite there is a dark eco ability that allows Jak to turn invisible and pass through all the eyes. Reaching the inner part of the temple, the Oracle will speak to Jak and provide him with a new light ability. Jak now has light and dark powers, and he can now heal himself with the light powers. More will be unlocked later on. Time for the last and final fight in the arena in order to be able to get the first war amulet and gain citizenship in Spargus City. Of course, once again, the course has been completely changed around. There is a huge surprise at the end of the arena course as Sig and Jak appear in front of each other face to face. They ought to battle each other to the end, but they decide not to, and this counts as defying the arena. As Sig has been a spy for Deimos, he shows leniency and sends the two on a very important quest to destroy battle-ed eggs that are in a cave in the desert. Using a new buggy, they go out and destroy the said eggs. Ashlyn would call on Jak and ask him to meet her near the oasis as she wants to have a chat with him. Upon arriving, various waves of marauders and their cars will appear and the two will have to defend themselves from the attack. After the waves of enemies have been cleared, Ashlyn will hand Jak the jetboard and notify him of the status and that the city needs his help. Jak angrily refuses and explains that the city kicked him out and that they could rot for all he cared. Ashlyn implores that Jak does not forget who he is and quite literally in the next mission he will make his way back to Haven City. The return to Haven City has various steps. First, Jak will have to return to the temple and face the various challenges that appear. Most of them are now jetboard challenges as Jak has now acquired the jetboard. Upon reaching the end, he will ride through the catacomb subrails, a very tedious mission, must I say. He will then reach the other side of the catacombs and have to explore the eco mine and escort a bomb train through by shooting down the rails on time. This will allow him to reach further, where the first boss fight will take place. It is a giant precursor robot the Vega has brought back. After defeating the robot, Jak can now find Samos and Kira on the other side, but they are behind the force field. Jak will have to travel through the sewers, which will lead to the port in Haven City. The first person that Jak will speak to when back in Haven City is Torn. Torn starts to update Jak on the war, explaining that the KG and Metalheads own certain parts of the city and that the war is non-stop action. The city has been blocked off by various barriers and they need to be eliminated so that the crew can rejoin with the HQ on the other end. Torn is told by the communicator that there are 3 blast bots that are fueled and ready to hit the base. Jak goes out and destroys the 3 blast bots before they can reach the base. After, Jak will rejoin with Torn, where the communications will be interrupted and the same face from earlier appears. It is Errol, and he explains that now he is more machine and that he has had some enhancements. In order to be able to progress through the city, Daxter is taught to power up and guide a missile into the first barrier so that another section of the city is accessible. As the area is now accessible, Jak will be instructed to destroy the KG snipers that are pinning down the friendly forces, and Jak will have to sneak his way around and take them out. When this has been completed, the fight will now be taken to the Metalhead-occupied part of the city. Jak will have to once again fight his way through a very enemy-occupied part of the sewer so that he can infiltrate his way into the Metalhead section of the city. Upon getting there, it appears that the Metalheads are using dark eco-tanks as an effective way to create weapons to be able to do even more harm to the city. Jak has to destroy all of them, and upon reaching the last one, he is touched by the eco and gains a new dark eco ability. Samos will send Jak to Haven Forest, which is located within the Metalhead-infested part of the town. Samos will tell Jak that he needs to use green eco to destroy the dark eco-infested plants so that ancient precursor pillars can be brought back from the waters. This will give Jak another part of the armor, and this will give him more HP. Upon leaving the forest, Jinx will wait for you in the ship so that he and Jak can go destroy the 4 eco-grid junction boxes. When you have destroyed all 4 of them, another barrier that is blocking a section from the city will be destroyed, allowing further access. From this point on, you may return to Spargus City to help out with missions that are occurring on that section. These include racing for even more artifacts, and this time the mission time is even longer than the last. Defending Spargus' front gate as the Marauders are pushing to destroy the door, and taking out the Marauder stronghold, and bringing back the artifact that Seam said they had stolen for themselves. There are a few others as well, but as we did for Jak II, I won't be talking about every single little mission in the game, or the video will be way too long. After completing the missions that are available for Jak in Spargus City, he could turn back to Haven City and complete the various missions that are now unlocked for him. There is a vision available from Ashlyn that requires Jak to steal an eco-vehicle as they feel that this will help with their war efforts. Missiles are shot after Jak and he must evade the missile and use decoys to guide them elsewhere and explode them. The use of this eco-vehicle will be apparent later on into the game. Jinx was able to capture and rewire a blast bot which Jak can control and will lead into the last barrier that is blocking the rest of the city. When this is completed, Jak can now link up with Freedom HQ and meet up with Ashlyn, Kira, Samos, Pekka and Onin. A sudden attack is made right outside the HQ where Jak and various Freedom Guards will be attempting to stop them. After this, Jak is told to go back to the HQ, where Samos will tell Jak that the best man to go into the catacombs and retrieve the old precursor technology would be Jak. Vega interrupts and says that he should be the one to do it and to not trust Jak, but the crew ends up backing up Jak and he is stripped of all his privileges. Ashley decides that Jak has to head up to the war factory that is producing the KG robots, but first they need to unlock the power room from the switch that is inside the sewers. Once the power room is opened, you'll find Vin, and he'll tell Jak that when the metalheads broke in, he was able to put his brain into the eco-grid. The cipher that Jak and Daxter need to get into the war factory is hidden within the system where Daxter is sent in to collect it. When Daxter completes the Pac-Man-esque maze, the cipher will drop into Jak's hands, where he tells Vin that they will be in touch. Just before being able to go and attack the war factory directly, Jak will have to head back to Haven Forest and complete these ring challenges in order to gain access to the tower in the middle and look through the Astro Viewer to check on the Dark Maker's ship in the sky. After this has been done, Jak takes the fight to the war factory and takes on what is creating the remaining KG robots. The attack on this factory will start off with Jak using a ship to destroy the outer defenses so that Jak can proceed to the inner section of the war factory. After clearing through various KG robots, Jak will make his way to the end of the factory, and who is the person controlling all of it? Well, it is Errol, and he announces to Jak that he has found a way to communicate with the Dark Makers, and that with their help, he will be able to control everything. This commences the second boss fight of the game, and after defeating Errol, the war factory is officially destroyed. Seam will call upon Jak and alert him that Errol is attacking the temple so that he can find out the secrets and what they know about the Dark Makers. Seam will explain to Jak in the temple that Errol's up to no good and that he wants to wake up the entire Dark Maker ship so that he can destroy the world. After leaving the temple, Sparga City is being overrun by the said Dark Makers, and Jak will have to man up the cannons and help get rid of the invasion in the city. Returning back to Haven Forest, Jak will use the various turrets to eliminate the threats so that he can once again climb up to the Astro Viewer. This time he will take control of a robot inside of the ship where he'll have to destroy the shields, and this will be important a little later on. Finally, we get to see the importance of the eco ship that Jak stole earlier. This is used so Jak can enter the Metalhead Tower that is in the Metalhead section of the city and destroy the tower. It is finally time to take on the final section of the game. As said earlier, Jak is sent into the catacombs so that he may speak to the Precursors regarding the technology that can help stop Errol. First, Jak will have to shoot his way through the stadium ruins, and eventually Deimos will appear with a different vehicle, and Jak will have to drive and shoot his way through the palace ruins. After this has been done, the trio gets shot by a catapult which floats over the car, and unfortunately this leads to Deimos' death. Jak finds out that Deimos was his father all along when he hands him the symbol that the younger version of him wore in the previous game. Jak will once again use the car thing to travel to the Precursor core, where the Precursors are revealed for the very first time. They are literally a bunch of Ottsels, and they even tell Daxter that him having turned into an Ottsel was a blessing rather than a curse, and that he is one with the Precursors. Jak is sent to destroy the Dark Maker ship once and for all, and after this is the final boss for the game. Errol is commanding one of the Dark Maker machines and is making his way to Sparga City to cause damage. First, Jak will have to shoot the crystals holding up the legs, and then he may climb and attack the head of the beast. Once again, I will allow you guys to watch the final cutscene.
Thank you, brave people of this planet. Onan, Samos, and all. Your strength and wisdom in these dark times give us reason to fight on.
My life's work, it turns out, was spent searching for a bunch of furballs.
Onan says it is a great day for the universe.
Jak, you are the greatest of heroes. You have turned the tide against the Dark Makers, and together we will win this war.
But dude, there are like way more challenges in the future. Ha!
Or was it the past?
Yes, I was getting to that.
More adventures? Where have I heard that before?
We need heroes like you to help us protect the universe, Jak.
Then you can call me by my first name. By what my father called me. Mar.
Wait, Jak is Mar? The Mar?
Come then, Mar. No time like the present.
You coming, Dax?
I got all I need right here, baby. But if you need me, and I know you will, you know where to find me.
Oh, Daxter, my little hero.
We owe you much, Daxter, for all you've done. For your bravery in the face of incredible danger, we shall grant you your deepest desire.
You know, I could really use a snazzy pair of pants, like yours.
Wow, those are sharp. I wish I had a pair just like that.
Be careful what you wish for.
Don't worry, honey. You get used to it. Oh, and you may want to shave some parts. Trust me on that.
Hey! Thanks for everything, partner.
You are a great hero, Daxter.
This is gonna be good. They think I'm a god. And they're right!
Our hero!
This is going to be a long trip.
Where do you think you're going, little bugger? I've decided I want my own sidekick, and you've been nominated. We're gonna be a great team. Just don't make me angry.
Are you ready, Jak? We have something to show you.
What?
The universe.
I couldn't leave you, Dax. With all our adventures ahead, you wouldn't last a second without me.
Ah, what a team we are!
Yeah, well, the next adventure, I call the shots. Put it in, partner. Ha! Psych! Oh, yeah. Life is good.